What's up, Worry Warriors? I am Counselor Keri, back for another Worry Warrior chat with you guys. So today, our Worry Warrior question of the day is, how do I know if my worries are really legit? Sometimes we have worries about very real things that are very serious and real and true, and that's okay. It's normal to worry about those things because they can be really scary, and worry is a very normal reaction to potential danger in our lives. But sometimes we have worries about things that are kind of out there, just like a little bit outlandish, or maybe they're about things that might happen or might not, or maybe when we're having these worries, we aren't really thinking about all of the facts. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is how do I know if this is a legit worry? Is this something that I should really spend my time worrying about, or is it something that I can reevaluate and let go? So last time we got together, we talked about self-evaluation. That was our Worry Warrior battle skill. And it's all about monitoring yourself and noticing your thoughts, noticing when they're happening, where they're happening, what your reaction to them is. So when we become aware of our worries, when we're actually noticing what they are, we can write them down on paper, or we can just think about them. And then we can really dive into that worry, and we can evaluate whether it's a real thing that we should really be worried about, or if maybe there's some other evidence that we aren't really considering. So that's our Worry Warrior battle skill of the day. It's called thought checking. It's just a way to say that we're going to check out our thoughts. We're going to walk through them. We're going to really break them down and decide if they're really things that we should spend some time worrying on. So the first way that we can practice thought checking is we can look at all of the facts in the situation. Sometimes we focus on just one fact when there are lots of facts out there. We might focus on just one negative thing that happened, and we might ignore all these other positive things that happened. Or we might focus on just one negative fact, or just one fact, maybe it's not even negative, and we ignore some other real facts that are out there that could help us shape a more realistic view of our worry. So that's the first thing we can do when we check our thoughts. We can look for all of the facts around the situation. The second thing that we can do is we can think about the past. Is this something that's happened before? What happened? How did it turn out? When this happened before, did the worst thing that I imagined happen, or was it something that was just sort of okay? So that's another way that we can check our thoughts. We can think about the past. A third way that we can check our thoughts is we can look for some counter evidence. So counter evidence is something that is evidence that could disprove our worry. So we might be focusing again on just one fact in the situation, but we could maybe find some evidence that could prove that worry wrong. So that's what we're going to be. We're going to be detectives. We're going to have like a magnifying glass, and we're going to look for some other evidence that could prove our worry wrong. The fourth way that we can check our thoughts is we can look for an alternative explanation. This means that we can try to figure out something else that could be causing the situation. Here's a perfect example. Maybe you're worried about your best friend. Maybe you're thinking, she didn't text me back in 5 minutes. She must hate me. We could look for an alternative explanation. Maybe the explanation isn't that she hates me. Maybe it's that she doesn't have her phone with her, or maybe it's that she's busy. So we're just looking for another explanation for our worry. Maybe it's not that first thing that we assumed right away. Then the fifth and final way that we can check out our thoughts is we can put it all in perspective. This means that we can take a step back and we can look at the whole picture, and we can say, is this something that's going to matter in a year? Is this something that's going to matter next month? Is this something that's even going to matter next week? We can think about the impact of what we're worrying about. Is it really going to change the course of our lives? Is it really going to affect us in a negative way? Or is it something that's kind of minor and really won't affect us at all if it actually did happen? We just put it in perspective. We take a step back and we look at the whole picture to decide if this worry is something that's really going to have a big impact on us. So those are 5 ways that we can check our thoughts and try to put our worry into perspective and really get a better understanding of the way that we're thinking. We can look at all of the facts. We don't want to leave out any details, because there may be some facts out there that could tell us that our worry isn't true. We could think about the past, and we can remember a time when something similar happened before, and we can remember how that turned out. We can look for some counter evidence. We can look for something that would prove our worry wrong. We can look for an alternative explanation. We can think about something else that could be causing our worry, or causing the situation, rather than what we're worrying about. And we can also put it in perspective. We can think, is this really going to affect me next week, next month, next year? Is this really going to change my life? Just put it in perspective and decide how that worry is going to affect us. So we all have worries. Sometimes they're really big, really real things that are very scary in the world, and that's okay. It's okay to feel worried about those things because they really can impact us. But sometimes we have worries about things that aren't so serious, or maybe they're not even very likely at all to happen. Like I might worry, I'm worried that there's gonna be an alien spaceship land in my living room in 5 minutes. Is that really that likely to happen? Probably not. It'd be kind of cool if it did, but it's not really all that likely to happen. So let's think about an example. Maybe you could imagine that you are at home, and maybe you're in a situation like I am now, where we're all kind of staying home for a long time because of the coronavirus, and we're staying home to keep ourselves safe and to keep the other people in our community safe. But maybe your mom is going to go to the grocery store to pick up some groceries. So you decide, I really wish that she would bring home some Cheetos, because I don't think that was on her shopping list. So I'm going to text her and I'm going to say, hey mom, please bring some Cheetos home with you from the grocery store. Maybe 10 minutes pass, 30 minutes pass, and you haven't heard back from your mom. So you call her. She doesn't answer. So you start to worry. What if something happened to my mom? What if she got into a shopping cart accident in the store and she's hurt and she's not coming back? You can see how your thoughts kind of start to spiral. Remember how we talked about that spiral of thoughts, how we have a worry and a feeling and then an action? We might worry that something happened to our mom. We might feel scared. We might text her. She doesn't answer. Then we might have another worry. What if something really bad happened to her and it just kind of spirals? That can happen. But we can take a second to check our thoughts. We can think, we can look at all the facts. And also you can combine them. You can look at all the facts and you can think about the past. When I've been shopping with my mom before, she always puts her phone in her purse, and her purse is in the shopping cart, and she never hears her phone ringing. So maybe that's what happened. That could be another fact, or it could be an alternative explanation. And we're using our past experience to help us come up with that, because we know that that's what she does when she's at the grocery store. And we could also think about some other facts that could be going on. Maybe she's paying right now. It's really hard to get your groceries off of the conveyor belt at the end and put them in your reusable bags and get them in your shopping cart and pay and then answer your phone all at the same time. So maybe she's just got a lot going on right now. And then to help ourselves calm our worries, we can use some of our other worry warrior battle skills after we've checked our thoughts. We could practice some of that deep breathing where we breathe in and out, blowing it all the way out. We can practice a grounding technique if we feel like we're really out of control. We can look around the environment where we are right now, and we can name something that is each color of the rainbow. Or we can use our senses like we've practiced before. So when you notice that you're having a worry, take a minute, just check your thoughts. See if that worry is really legit, if it's something that you really need to spend your time worrying on. And you can use those 5 strategies that we just talked about to check your worry and see if it is something that is big, that's really gonna impact you. And it's okay if it is. And that's a time when you can reach out to somebody who you trust in your life, and you can talk to them about that. Because it's always okay to share our worries with other people, because other people want to help us. They want us to feel safe, and they want to help us walk through that worry and figure out a way to deal with it. So that's all for today, Worry Warriors. I will see you next time.